Welcome to another Planetside video. One of the best things you can do to improve and get better at this game is have the best loadout possible. If you got the best loadout, you're in the best position to succeed. Each loadout is made for a different game situation, so this will allow you to be ready for any situation thrown at you, so you have the best possible chance to do well. First loadout here is the Cqc Smg Infiltrator. This is going to be your go-to class if you want to get infantry kills. You also have on the bottom left here Cqc Headshot Bolt. This is going to allow you to headshot people with a bolt action sniper at close range and get a bunch of kills if you're good at aiming. You also have in the top right Stalker Infiltrator with a commissioner pistol. This is mainly going to be used if you are new to the game or if you want to play a bit more relaxed. It's a very fun class to use. In the bottom right too we have the Knifing Infiltrator, which is also a very fun class to try out. The next class is a Light Assault. We have the Sunday Destroyer for C4 here, which is really strong at killing Sundays. This is a really good class if you want to go in, get the Sunday. You're probably going to die doing it, but that's okay. You then also have in the bottom left a Light Assault class, which is meant to stay on the rooftops. Keep in mind that you need to have some kind of air dominance a lot of the time in the base to do this, although it definitely is something that's fun if you can manage it. In the top right we also have a more fun class if you want to try something a bit fun, which is about breaching buildings, getting in, killing as many people as possible. In general for this I'll recommend Aerial Combatant and Safe Fall, although I will say Avoidance also has its place so you can avoid claymores. Next up we have the Engineer, which is probably one of the most versatile classes in the game. We have the top left here the Infantry class. If you're going to be point holding, you can get 2 gates and defend 2 doors, and that's super strong in point hold situations. In the bottom left we have another point hold loadout to do with using a turret, and that again is very strong in point hold situations. If you're going to be playing infantry in general, I would actually recommend one of the other classes, but if you are going to be point holding specifically, Engineer is decent. So for other situations, Heavy Assault and Medic are better, but if you are going to be point holding, the Engineer definitely has its place and definitely is considered meta. We also do have on the right side some vehicle loadouts which are very fun to use, and for those of you salty heavies listening who have not used vehicles yet, strongly recommend trying. It's a bunch of fun, especially if you have a few people to play with. Next up we have the most underutilized class in the game. In the top left you have a class that you could use instead of Heavy Assault and still do extremely well. It's almost as good as Heavy Assault. Very strong class in general, really strong utility in the form of reviving people. This is extremely underappreciated, and it's also great for getting SARTs. I do recommend that if you are mainly going to be reviving people, that you focus on staying at the back, although you can also play this in an aggressive way if you did want to do that too. In the bottom left we also have something to do with point holding, and this is mainly going to be because of the revive grenades that you can get with Bandolier being very strong in the last 1 minute of a capture, and then of course tethering the Heavy Assault if you can, reviving players, super strong in point hold situations. Likewise the top right has the Bubble Shield, which I see extremely underutilized. Bubble shields are extremely useful next to doors, and I really recommend trying it out if you haven't already. Super strong if you do play in an outfit which does point hold. If you don't, not as useful. As I'm going through these guides guys, make sure that you're remembering that movement speed buffs do not stack and damage resistant buffs do not stack. So for example, Nano Weave, Resist Shield, Fortify do not stack, so please keep that in mind. And always remember to use the same scope for everything, so either you use a 1-time scope or a 2-time scope. Obviously this doesn't apply to Sniper, but you should know that. And always remember to use your passive abilities. For each class there'll generally be a few passive things that you can unlock, so I recommend going and checking that out. A really good example of that is the Medic class, which allows you to heal people when you're in a vehicle passively in an area of effect. Super strong. Next up we have the Heavy Assault. This is the most feared class in the game, perhaps behind Max. We do have here in the top left the kind of Zarg Safi loadout. If you want to kill a bunch of enemies, this is especially useful if you're playing solo or if you're playing in a squad, which is kind of in a loose formation and maybe playing in the same base but not necessarily together. This loadout is going to be very strong in getting a bunch of kills in one 1v1 or 1v2 situations. In the bottom left here we have the point holding heavy, which is more to do with trying to hold a point and stop the enemy from coming in, and that's why we have guns with a higher ammo pool, so you can keep that up. We're also looking for both medic and heavy having the safeguard unlocked and in use, because safeguard is very strong in point hold situations, and of course athlete's very strong as well as assimilate, so generally you're going to be picking from those three. Canopy and ordnance again for point hold situations are very strong. Flash grenade is very strong. Concussion's also decent. For this class you can also use the carapace, and you can combine this with bandolier, and then you can just throw 4 flash grenades, say every 10 seconds during the last 50 seconds of a base capture, and you can stop people coming through an entire door just by doing that, and the same for concussion grenade. Now you can use C4 for this heavy assault class, but you generally, if you're in a more relaxed squad, will want to use medkit so you have self-sustain. But if you are playing in an organized squad, you can rely on medics a lot of the time. We also have a fun little top right class that I've added in for fun. You can sit on the back seat of a harasser, throw C4 out the window, use your decimator, and again use the counterintelligence, and maybe even cat-like to jump over any harassers which try to run you over if you jump out of the harasser to get more stable aim with the rocket launcher. And this actually has some viability, especially if you have logistics specialists on your driver for the harasser, so it's something fun to use and you may want to try it out. Next up we have the Max. This has a few different loadouts for the anti-infantry weapons, especially on the TR side. So there's some argument to be made that there's different options you could use for the TR anti-infantry weapon, but this is generally what I'd recommend. On NC, TR and Vanu, emergency repair is super strong. For NC, you do also have the big shield, which generally can have some utility, especially if you're using it in a coordinated way. I will say if you do use maxes a lot, you generally speaking will want to use nanite boost in the form of membership, which will allow you to pull maxes more often. I do also want to give a quick shout out to our Discord, because there's a bunch of people right now playing Civ 6, Minecraft even as we speak, and also I think some Path of Exile discount version called Last Epoch. So come join us on Discord. It doesn't have to just be for Planetside, although we do also play Planetside on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at around 7 PM if you're in the UK and 8 PM if you're in the EU. Also follow the YouTube and follow the Twitch as well, because that'll help a lot. Until next time guys, have a great day. GG.